long time no see. I tried to record a video last week, but for some reason it wouldn't let me. So I don't know, but I'm back, and I am about to do a video on an update about my latest book that I'm working on, The Wax Menagerie, and also for a mystery, whatever happened to Flight 19. Before I get into the mystery, let me tell you a little bit about The Wax Menagerie. Chapter 6, I've been talking about a lot. If you've seen my stories, you've known that, like, oh, he's reading Hound of the Baskervilles, he's going to start Chapter 6 eventually. Well, I finally finished Hound of the Baskervilles last night. I took my notes, got my research down, and I am ready to go on Chapter 6. It's finally happening. Boom. Let's see how long it takes me to write it. One thing that I was afraid of was that from chapters 1 to 5, that I would have too much information. A lot of strange shit's happening. This is my own video, I'm swearing. I won't drop too many F-bombs, don't worry about it. Anyway, gotta be proper, right? Gotta be proper. Excuse me. I thought for the first 5 chapters that I was giving out too much information, or I was having a lot of, I was rushing it, a lot of horror, crazy suspense, strange suspense. My nose is itchy. I thought a lot of stuff was put into the first 5 chapters. So what I did was I went over it and I took some stuff out and I condensed it. I've spread it out for at least the first 8 chapters. So no worries about an overabundance of information. Try saying that 5 times fast. Oh wow. So, chapter 1 of The Wax Menagerie is called The Reveal. Chapter 2 is called Deeper Underground. Chapter 3 is called Whatever Happened to Jacob Marley. Chapter 4 is called The Houdini Impersonation. And Chapter 5 is called Hobo Hieroglyphics. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm really impressed by my titles. I worked hard on them, okay? I know nobody else is going to appreciate my titles for this book as much as I will, but I at least hope somebody that reads this book when it comes out will be like, wow, I really like these chapter titles. I'm telling you what it's about, but at the same time, I'm not. I'm sly like that. So yeah, that's my latest update on The Wax Menagerie. Chapters 6, 7, and 8. That's why I read The Hound of the Baskervilles, so that chapters 6, 7, and 8 can get that gothic feel and presence, which I think I've established. So now the goods, the mystery. Whatever happened to Flight 19? First of all, why do I want to talk about Flight 19? Well, I've been doing a lot of mysteries. I've been watching a lot of BuzzFeed Unsolved, and they have a lot of mystery. It's a series about what happened with certain unsolved mysteries, and this one has always intrigued me. For those who don't know what the disappearance of Flight 19 is, basically 5 military airplanes were flying over the coast of Florida, next to the Carolinas in the Atlantic Ocean, as part of a mission. They were going from one destination to the other, but they drifted off course, and something happened to all 5 of the planes, and they vanished off the face of the earth, never to be heard from again. Nobody knows what happened to them. This happened in 1945. It's now 2020, and honestly, nobody knows still what happened to Flight 19. So again, basically 5 planes, military airplanes, 1945, during the Atlantic Ocean. They're going from one destination to the other, and I think at least 3 times the head pilot was corresponding with the base, the military base. And the first 2 times, he wasn't really making sense, but at the same time, he was just like, oh, I'm lost. And they're like, oh, you're here. But then they didn't hear from him. After a while, they didn't hear from him for a while. The third and final time they heard from him, he was erratic, he was confused, he was delirious, he wasn't making any sense. And he reported seeing something in the ocean, like a piece of land or whatever, and he says he could have sworn that he had seen it prior, but the base was concerned because they're like, well, wait a minute, from where he should be, he shouldn't be seeing anything in the ocean, which suggests that they were off course. They were either behind where they should have been, or they went too far forward. Nevertheless, after that correspondence, neither he nor his other 4 men were ever heard from again. They disappeared off the face of the earth. How do 5 planes disappear off the face of the earth? The better question is, why isn't this a bigger deal? I feel like I'm sure this has its fans, but that's why I'm here, to enlighten you and give you the 4 theories on what happened to Flight 19. The first theory is that they got taken in by the Bermuda Triangle. The second theory is that they crashed into the ocean. The third theory is that they were abducted by UFOs. And the fourth theory is that they blew up. Now, before I get into which theories I think are best, and I explain them, the 2 that you think that make the most sense, wait till you hear my theories. Then you won't think that they're the obvious choices. The first one is that they were taken in by the Bermuda Triangle. First of all, you have to believe that the Bermuda Triangle exists in order to believe this theory. I happen to be one of those people that believes that the Bermuda Triangle not only exists, but it took Flight 19. The Bermuda Triangle is known to have taken ships, countless ships, and planes, because the Bermuda Triangle acts as a place where magnetic fields are messed up. So if you're flying a plane in the Bermuda Triangle and over the Atlantic Ocean, there's a good chance that your plane is going to go haywire, go nutty, go ape shit. Bermuda Triangle, as crazy as it might seem to some people, totally plausible to me. I think that's what happened to them, because there's no logical explanation. Now, what is the Bermuda Triangle? I didn't get into this over on Periscope on Twitter. I mean, I guess the Bermuda Triangle is whatever you want it to be. I think it's like a vortex, maybe into another dimension. I think that's usually what's speculated. So they went into another dimension, Justin, really? Really, Justin? They went into another dimension. You know what? Yeah. Because there's no trace of them ever existing after 1945. Again, after you hear the other 3 theories and my thoughts on it, believe me, the Bermuda Triangle is going to sound good. It's going to sound real good. Second theory, they crashed into the ocean. Justin, the story's over. That's what happened to them. They crashed into the ocean, right? No, they did not. There is no evidence to suggest that all 5 men crashed into the ocean. There is no evidence to suggest that even one of them crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. Now, if you dwell down to the depths that is the Atlantic Ocean, you will find countless ships, countless planes. None of them are from Flight 19. At one point, some investigators, people that were investigating Flight 19, they went down into the Atlantic Ocean, and they found 3 ships that were, debris of planes, They found 3 ships. I keep saying ships. Planes. They found 3 planes that were wrecked, all together. Now, obviously, if Flight 19 had crashed, all the planes would be together. So they looked at these 3 planes, and they're like, this must be Flight 19. The only problem was, when they looked on the serial numbers, which were still legible on the planes, none of them were any of the numbers that were on Flight 19, and none of them were even close to each other. They were all 3 clear random numbers. So obviously, Flight 19, I'm just giving you an example. I don't know the actual flight numbers, but let's just bear with me. S1N1, S1N2, S1N3, S1N4, S1N5. Let's say those are the 5. But these ships were like N5973, 13654, 79842. Totally random. So they did not find a single plane out of the 5. 5 planes. 5. Didn't find a single plane. How does that happen? Naturally, when a plane crashes, it goes from the sky and it sinks to the ocean depths. But not Flight 19. How does that happen? So, I don't think this theory is plausible. UFOs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, you just took the most logical one, and now you're going to talk about the second most ridiculous one? Don't worry. I do believe in UFOs, but I don't think UFOs were the case here. I heard, this was actually the first time when I watched BuzzFeed Unsolved that I heard the theory that they were abducted by UFOs. It would explain why there's no planes in the ocean, but it doesn't explain why the head pilot, and none of the people said that they saw a craft. They never did. So, I mean, that's really all there is to say about that. I don't think they were abducted by UFOs. The fifth one, they blew up. Well, this seems possible, but naturally when things blow up, the debris that scatters, that's left over, goes somewhere. In this case, when a plane blows up in midair, the debris is going to go into the ocean, on top of the ocean, and into, like, nearby land. There's nothing to suggest that Flight 19, any of the planes in Flight 19 blew up, because there's no debris in the ocean, there's no debris in the water, and there's none in any nearby lands. Now do you see my point? The Bermuda Triangle sounds great now, doesn't it? Exactly. So what do you think happened to Flight 19? Bermuda Triangle? They crashed into the ocean and it's just... we haven't looked hard enough? UFOs? Or they blew up. They just completely blew up to the point where there was nothing left over. I find it very hard to believe. I think it was the Bermuda Triangle. I'm sorry. If you think I'm a conspiracy nut, you can think whatever you want, but that's the one that makes the most sense to me. Which brings me to a little side topic. I was actually thinking about doing a piece on Amelia Earhart. I'll save you all the time. I think Amelia Earhart is with Flight 19 in the Bermuda Triangle. I think she too was sucked up by the strange vortex that is. Yeah. Either that or she was eaten by cannibals off the coast of Africa. Poor Amelia. Poor Flight 19. But yeah, what do you think happened to Flight 19? What do you think happened to Amelia Earhart? If you have some thoughts, your own theories, please comment, DM me, let me know what you think. This has been my latest weekly update on my book and my latest mystery on the disappearance of Flight 19. I'd like to tell you that I'll be doing a random pop-up video maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday, but I'd be lying, because the last 2 times I said that, I didn't do it. I thought about it, but then something else came along and I got busy, or I just watched TV, like a couch potato. Yeah. But yeah, who knows? I can't guarantee when you see me next, so until then, stay safe and don't be like Flight 19. Don't disappear. I'm still live. I'm hitting the end button. Alright.